Pam Page seemed full of optimism about her future, and there was no apparent reason for her sudden disappearance. Pamela Jane Frisbie Page, born on January 18, 1957, was the co-owner and operator, with her husband Rob, of the Fast Forward video store in the Phoenix suburb of Peoria, Arizona. On July 7, 1989, Pam had made the cross-country trip to Arkansas to visit her large and loving family for a week. She assured her parents and 7 siblings that everything was all right in her world, her marriage happier than ever, and with plans to buy a new home and even expand their business to a second store. She left Arkansas for home on Sunday, July 16, 1989, and on Wednesday, July 26, 10 days after her arrival home, her sister Trina called to check on her. Rob answered the phone and in a matter-of-fact manner told her that Pam had left him the previous Friday. Trina was completely shocked that her sister had been gone for 4 days, and yet Rob hadn't bothered to inform any of her family. He also said that Pam had left him a goodbye letter, and on Trina's insistence, Rob read it to her over the phone. Other family members then called Rob to also be read the letter he claimed Pam had left behind. When Pam's father asked Rob to send him a copy, the family was shocked to view the typewritten screed with the handwritten Pam at the end, looking nothing like her signature. Pam's letter to Rob stated that she had left with a friend called Sarah, had taken their savings and would be leaving her car at a Winchell's donut shop in town. Also that she would leave her other keys, checkbook and credit cards with the letter. Pam's family hurried to Arizona as soon as they found out she was missing. Rob had assured them that he had notified the authorities of his wife's disappearance. However, on arriving at the police station, the family was informed that no police report had been filed. As soon as police were made aware, they began to investigate Pam's disappearance and to question Rob. It emerged that the last time Pam was seen alive and well was on Friday night, July 21, 1989. She had left the video store with her assistant manager, walking out to the parking lot as they discussed the planned second store. All of the workers at the video store stated that Pam was in good spirits that week, with her and Rob showing affection towards each other when he came into the store. In relation to Pam's letter, another sister, Jimmy, was adamant that there was no proof the person called Sarah ever existed. Rob claimed that he had not met her, but that Pam had mentioned her after they met at the video store. However, authorities found no customer with that name who knew Pam personally. The police questioned all family members, store employees and customers, and many acquaintances, but no one had ever met, seen or even heard of this mysterious Sarah. Another strange aspect was that one of the couple's miniature Dachshunds named Rerun was also missing, while the other Dachshund, Keller, remained at home. Jimmy believed that Rob had made one of the couple's 2 dogs disappear along with Pam in order to make it more believable. In actual fact, when visiting her family in Arkansas just before her disappearance, Pam had declared that she would never separate the dogs as they were older dogs who had grown up together. The family knew that she would never do the exact opposite just less than a week later. Under questioning by the police, Rob had a complicated alibi for the day Pam went missing. At first, he claimed to have visited several auto parts stores to try to find a new ignition switch for his truck. At one stage, his truck had failed to start, so he phoned home but got no answer. He said he then called a taxi home but stated he never entered the house, just the garage where he got the part he needed, then rode his bicycle back to his truck. After it started, he drove home and discovered the letter, and also that a $60,000 stash they kept in a safe at the store was gone. He claimed he had found Pam's Corvette at a nearby donut shop the following day. None of the employees in any of the auto parts stores remembered Rob or anyone that day asking about an ignition switch. Also, no employees or customers remembered seeing Rob's quite distinctive truck parked outside the store where he claimed it sat for 4 hours, for some of that time while he was allegedly working on it. The family's suspicions were further confirmed when the crime lab concluded that the signature on the letter was definitely not Pam's handwriting. Rob then pivoted to claim that he had found the letter in the word processor at home and added the last 4 sentences to it, then printed it out and signed Pam's name. He said he was embarrassed by the thought that his wife had left him for a woman. This claim was debunked by the police, finding that the whole letter was written all at the same time. When police questioned Rob's claim that it took him a day to find Pam's car, which was parked directly opposite the donut shop, Rob also admitted to driving Pam's car there. It didn't help Rob's cause when he repeatedly declined the police request to take a polygraph, nor did the doubt of both police and Pam's family that there was even $60,000 in the couple's safe before Pam disappeared. Pam's family worked tirelessly to find her and work out how and why she went missing, driving the 1,300-mile stretch from their home to Arizona constantly to do their own investigating. They repeatedly walked around the neighbourhoods of Pam and Rob's home and where the video store was placing flyers, while tracking down all Pam's friends and acquaintances for information. 2 investigative journalists assisted them, the late Don Devereaux and Jana Thorson, who was then a reporter for the Peoria Times newspaper. They researched Pam's case and wrote many articles about her disappearance. Everything the family uncovered continued to implicate Rob. On one of their trips, they located a man who ran a local bookstore. He had seen Rob, a woman and a small child throwing numerous trash bags into a dumpster used by surrounding businesses. As all the shop owners had agreed not to do this, the man checked the dumpster after the couple had left and said it appeared to contain bags of women's clothing. He had reported the incident to police, but they never relayed it to Pam's family. Rob was also removing missing persons posters of Pam as soon as they were put up, and was even found to have contacted a divorce attorney prior to her going missing, inquiring how to obtain a divorce after a spouse leaves. If this wasn't incriminating enough, a private investigator hired by Rob to investigate Pam's case actually approached the police and Pam's family, saying he thought Rob was instrumental in causing her disappearance. Jimmy discovered that at the time Pam went missing, Rob was believed to be in a relationship with his secretary at the Palo Verde nuclear plant where he worked. The secretary's mother-in-law had confirmed this to her, supported by the claim that during Pam's last trip to Arkansas, Rob had spent most of his time with the secretary and her young son. It was suspected that she, her son and Rob could be those individuals seen throwing belongings into the dumpster soon after Pam's disappearance. In desperation, Jimmy also contacted psychic Carol Pate for answers and was amazed by her information despite the little she had been given. Pate said she saw a vision of a couple arguing, after which the man chased, struck and smothered the woman using a pillow. Another female then appeared who assisted him in placing Pam in a vehicle's trunk. The pair drove her somewhere where Pate viewed the numbers 241, the name Coolidge, and a grey factory near a railroad. The man stopped and removed the body, then started to dig, burying it in a field near the factory. The reporter Jane Thorson investigated those clues, finding a grey factory near some railroad tracks in Peoria and a nearby sign with the numbers 241. A road that ran from the Page's house to a friend's house passed both of these locations and ended at a street named Coolidge. It would prove impossible to find out how much of Pate's vision was accurate without finding Pam's remains or knowing how she went missing, which required police resources. Despite Rob's suspicious behaviour, he was never charged in Pam's disappearance and passed away from cancer in 2009. In July 2017, Pam's family received a formal letter from the Maricopa County Attorney's Office stating that, based on recent witness statements, if Robert Page was still alive, he would be charged with second-degree murder, however, that the case was now closed. Of course, Pam Page's family is still without closure, still hoping to eventually find her remains and some answers.